I would. This is why.
What's going?
This is why I actually lead the charge.
Yeah, right. What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Sean Wallace. I am, of course, your boy Frank Starfire. This here is Agree to Disagree. Of course, if you have any agreements or disagreements, questions, concerns, just leave them down there in the comments. Of course, hit that little subscribe button and the little notification bell. Let it ring off. Do your thing. We appreciate the love as ever, man. What's going on with you, good brother?
Chilling, man. What's good?
I can't complain because nobody wants to hear it.
No one cares. No
There you
one.
go. Nobody cares.
When we
So,
figure that out, the more happy we all will be.
listen, I keep trying to explain to people that it's funny. I said this earlier. If you're a guy, nobody gives a fuck what you got to say. Nobody cares. They only care about everything
No,
else.
listen. We handle your business. That's all you're supposed to do.
That's
No
it.
one cares. No one cares what you think. You're not supposed to have emotions. You're supposed to be too busy to be emotional.
Basically, that's exactly what it is. You're not allowed to have emotions. If you're a guy, you do not have emotions. You shut that down and you keep moving. I don't care
Yes,
how much pain or
very
whatever
deep down
you're in.
inside, very deep down inside, and
Very
go out
deep,
there and make that bitch happy.
bury it, bury it deep, like 6 feet under, because it's dead.
Yes.
Anyway, what's going on, man? Happy birthday
Well,
to hip hop.
should I tilt this camera? I don't know. I don't like it the way it be going.
Tilt it, you can. I'm not going to tell you.
Is it gonna go? Is it gonna go in line with yours? I don't know.
I have no idea, but it's
Well,
certainly
you know
right now
what?
you sideways, so I don't know. You might have to change just the landscape or something. I don't know how that works. I ain't that tech savvy. I can't lie to you. I barely get this together.
We got bigger fish to fry, man.
Word up. I
Hip
got big.
hop is 50 years old, baby.
Hip hop is 50 years old, and we are from one of the birthplaces of hip hop, Queens. You know what I mean?
I didn't know hip hop was 50 years old.
Yeah,
I
started.
thought it
What
was
is it?
40.
August. Well, I'm 41, and so August 11th, whatever. I don't math very well, but
73. Like what? When did that happen? The Sugar Hill Gang came out when we was born.
I mean, no. Apparently, they came out a bit earlier, and you know what? I wish Cap was on. He would. His hip hop historian ass would definitely correct us on all of
Let me tell you something, man. And you know what? I don't see it going any further than the 50 years. I think it's man, it's in jeopardy. It's in
All
jeopardy.
right. So which is a fantastic segue into the first question. Is hip hop on its dying breath? Is it going down?
I'm going to man, I want to say no. The only reason I say yes is because it has forgotten its foundation. And the foundation is the DJ.
Mm.
The DJ is supposed to be the headline. It's become the MC or the artist that has taken over the forefront of hip hop music. Because before, remember, the parties, the DJs got the party started, and then somebody got on the mic. But it really didn't matter if it was one guy, two guys, three guys, but the DJ was the most important. And I still believe to this day, I told Cap this, that you need a good DJ or at least a good producer to get to get the music started. It's not about the artist. Now these dudes are getting beats from anywhere. They don't even care where the beats are coming from. Now the beats are all watered down. They're all electronic. I don't see this being a lasting tool because all these dudes are falling off. Now chicks is running hip hop and they're just sexualizing it. Like I don't see it.
Say, tell that to Scarlett. All right. Tell
Me
us.
too. I'll tell you, the last party I went to. It was a shame. It was a shame. Nobody was on the floor, bro. And it was not that it was like the music was outdated or nothing like that, or like the music was. It wasn't like they were playing Lil Baby or anything like that. They were playing Dreams and Nightmares. They was playing Rough Riders Anthem. They were playing regular, you know what I'm saying,
Hip
New
hop.
York
Yeah.
hip hop. And I was in a place where majority of people were from New York.
No,
Everybody
listen,
I met out in the party was from New York. And I'm like, yo, I'm on the dance floor. Like, none of y'all know this. None of y'all know these
no,
words.
nobody dances anymore. That's dead. But
Another thing.
nobody dances
Another
anymore.
reason why hip
But
hop
hey, listen,
dying,
I
bro.
ain't gonna hold you.
Dying.
I have the 2 left feet of a corny white boy. I don't dance. However, I
You
just don't.
don't gotta, it's a, we two-step. We don't do nothing else crazy. We just move our feet.
I live right
It's
there.
like,
I live in
what?
that 2
It's
step
like,
right there. I
you
live
got your
there.
hands doing all kind of other stuff, but your feet don't do nothing. Your feet don't do nothing.
Well, no, the days of Heavy D and the boys and Big Daddy Kane having backup dances and all that, that's over. However, I'm going to respectfully disagree with you because, in all honesty and fairness, while yes, the DJ is an important aspect of hip hop, it's not the only aspect of hip hop. You've got what are the 4 pillars of hip hop? Breaking, the MC, the DJ, and graffiti, right? Cap, let me know if I'm right. But but where my Cappy Land
Yo,
record
he's gonna
shirt
be so
today.
mad. He's gonna be so mad at us for
He's
talking
gonna be
about and not
so
keep.
angry. He's gonna be black. He's gonna be a
Like,
little
yo, y'all
upset.
niggas is not even talking to me right now.
Like, I hate you both. You're like, y'all should know this shit. And he's not wrong, but you know, the brain gets fuzzy as you get a little older, man. I'm sorry. I apologize. But I don't think hip hop is a dying art form. I think that right now I think it's in a place where MCing is not as important as rapping. And I always have believed that that's 2 different things. A rapper and an MC are not the same thing.
Yeah,
I
you're
think
100% correct.
all right. And I think that the art of MCing never goes away. I think the DJs that are out and are still working, rest in peace to K Slay. I think they're still holding it down very, very, very well. I think the producers, while there, you know, there's no producer out today that's gonna be
Large
a
Professor,
large professor, a Swiss
Dilla,
Beats, a Timberland, you know, you don't have any of those. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's not to say that the beats aren't, the tracks that are being made aren't phenomenal because there's a lot of them. It's just they got corny cats rapping on them. That's all. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? But no, I don't think hip hop is ever going to die. I think hip hop is too ingrained in the American spirit. I think hip hop is too ingrained in the global spirit to ever truly die. If you think about it, everywhere in this world, everywhere, no matter where you go on the 4 corners of the globe, hip hop is prevalent everywhere. And that says a lot about the art form, and it says a lot about the culture that it has spread so far and wide and continues to grow. And again, I mentioned Scarlett because that young lady is a freaking beast, man. I can't sit here and tell you I know a lot of Lotto tracks or what's the other one? Ice Spice. I know what they look like, but I can't sit here and tell you any of their tracks, right? But Remy Martin's still making music. You know what I'm saying? So Fat Joe still makes music. You know what I mean? Like the Locks still exist. You know what I mean? Like as long as you still have artists, Fab still exists, the Game still exists, Eminem still exists, Dr. Dre is still around. So as long as these pillars of hip hop are still around, hip hop will never die. You know what I'm saying? And they're still feeding the culture. That means that some young cat is sitting there right now listening to a Jadakiss record or an Eminem record, or you know what I'm saying, and they're still feeling that fire that I know I felt as a kid. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I miss MCing so much. I was just saying that to my lady the other day, like, yo,
The old days.
I miss the old days.
Bring back everything.
I
Fucking up.
miss just standing on the corner, busting a freestyle, smoking a blunt. You know what I mean? I miss that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yo, could you believe? Can you believe we're here now? We're asking for the old days. When we say in the old days, we thought like in the fucking 70s and the 60s, we could actually say, yo, I miss the old days. And that's like the 90s.
and
I miss
80s
the
and
90s,
90s.
bro. I miss the 90s. This shit was like it was like prime time for culture on many different aspects, from fucking money to sports. But hip hop, man, it was so raw and we were rebellious too.
Which is
It was
why
crazy.
I am thankful for Drink Champs. I'm thankful for my expert opinions. Shout out to Nori and Math Hoffa. I'm thankful for them for what they bring to hip hop and how they continue to shine a light on artists from then to now and give them their flowers, so to speak, and provide them an opportunity to really be heard, and not just as not just as an MC, but also you get to know a person. Like there's something about hearing a person speak for an extended period of time that gives you a better insight into who that person actually is. I recently watched the My Expert Opinion joint with Kid and Play, or snippets of it. I forgot how much I love New Edition until I heard Michael Bivins on My Expert Opinion talking about the come up they had and everything. So no, I don't think hip hop is going anywhere.
You're so you're speaking on the hip hop that you knew, and I guess to that extent it will never die, because it's something that they can do and we can listen to forever.
Yep.
You don't have to stop listening to it.
No,
they don't ever have to stop performing.
No,
they don't ever have to. They shouldn't stop recording.
No,
they should never stop recording. But they're, you know what I'm saying, it's going to require some like tunnel vision, because you can't focus on what is being displayed, because if you're trying to like follow the trend, you're going to get this watered down product, and your favorite artists, or what you knew of these guys, are gonna be a shell of themselves. And then the music that they create, it's not gonna I mean, it's just, it shouldn't matter though. That it's not gonna resonate, and it's not gonna be as impactful as it was when you were younger. Well, you're not gonna get like Jadakiss. If Jadakiss drops an album, it's not gonna get the respect that it deserves. Like Nas's last album is like already like it came and gone.
That's because of I think that has to do with corporate structures within the music business. I'm not talking about the music business of hip hop. I'm just talking about the art form itself. And, unfortunately, I don't think there's enough of people like you and I in those corporate offices that are saying, like, nah, that Jada album needs to be heard more. Push that. That Styles P and Havoc album needs to be pushed more. Push it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the flip side of that is, a lot of the corporate structure, at least from my perspective that I can see, it's kind of been pushed to the wayside by the fact that nowadays an artist can pretty much put out their own material without much backing from a corporate structure, because of things like SoundCloud, YouTube, social media in general. Like, if Jada wants to be heard, he can go right to his fans. If Nas wants to be heard, he can go right to his fans, and he can jump on a live or jump on a podcast and talk to the people. You know what I mean? And that's why that aspect of it is a blessing to a degree, in that it allows the artist to still be heard. And then you've got somebody like a LL Cool J and Rock the Bells and all these different things. Like, hip hop is, you got hip hop artists in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which probably needs to be renamed at this point to the Music Hall of Fame. But
why not? Why can't it be rock and roll?
I mean, because we ain't rock and roll, even though, look, hip hop as it stands right now today is the #1 music art form in America.
No, it's not.
What is?
It's not hip hop anymore.
What is? What is?
It used to be.
What is?
I don't know.
What is? It's still hip hop. Hip hop is still the #1.
It's probably country music at this point.
No,
probably.
because try that in a small town. I heard it. It's trash. I love Taylor Swift.
Whether you like it or
Miley
not,
Cyrus.
like it or not doesn't matter. Whether it's being listened to or not, or whether that genre is being absorbed not by you or your type, but that doesn't mean that it's not the music. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm saying that it's dying, is because not the #1. It's not the #1 anymore because of the music that's being made is trash. No one is trying to see this shit. Well, no one is going out to see these shows.
I'm gonna put up a poll.
All these little new artists, they can't even tour no more because no one wants to see this shit.
I'm gonna put up a poll on YouTube in the YouTube community. We gonna find out if people, and I might even put it on X, Twitter. We're gonna see if people are still bumping hip hop, because the truth of the matter is, if I'm not mistaken, and of course somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, the hip hop is still majorly consumed by young white people more than black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're still buying albums, they're still streaming. Like, how many people and as much as I'm not a fan of the music of today, how many people are turning up to the Migos, Lil Uzi Vert? I used to work with a cat, white boy up in the spot, and his whole playlist was all Lil Uzi Vert and freaking Lil Baby and all these cats. So
I'm telling you, man, you got nigga ears. You gotta listen. That EDM music is crazy.
It might be, but I ain't listening to that crap.
It's going nuts out here. I'm saying their shows are a lot more packed than Lil Uzi Vert shows.
Well, that's because Lil Uzi Vert is terrible. But that's neither here nor there.
Exactly. It all contributes to what is wrong with the music, not the culture. The culture. I mean, the culture itself will. I mean, you can't. Like, I seen Lupe Fiasco has a hip hop class.
Okay.
And he spoke on how influential in so many different aspects of life hip hop is involved in our lives. How it teaches us, how it influences us, how it can direct our lives, it can change our lives. It's affected families, it's built families, it's built corporations, it's driven. So and like you said, there was the 4 pillars, but there's so much more to it now. It's grown to a level that it just wasn't before.
Which tells you that it can't die, because if it keeps growing, just because, listen, and I'll say this, and I mean this, just because we don't like what's being put out doesn't mean that it's not hip hop, and it doesn't mean that people aren't vibing with it. People are vibing with it. You know what I mean? And it comes down to that generational gap. Remember our parents used to be like, y'all turn all that hippity boopity bop off. I don't want to hear that nowadays, and that's how we are now. We them old heads now, man. We don't.
How did we consume that? How did we consume that? We went out, bought it. No matter how we bought it,
And we had
We
the
went out
radio.
and bought it and listened to it. And because we put our money to it, we appreciated what it is that we put our money to. You don't have to put, we're not putting our money to this music. We're just turning it on.
I mean, that's
You
not
turn it
true.
on and you turn it off. You
I
don't
pay
even
for
have to go
Spotify
through a
Premium
whole
for a
album.
reason, dagnabbit.
Huh?
I pay for Spotify Premium for a reason, dagnabbit. Listen,
As do I.
and Lover.
Everybody has Apple Music, everybody has Spotify or Tidal, but no one goes into the iTunes store to purchase an album.
I don't know. I don't necessarily know if that's true or not because I don't know.
Why would you?
But
why would
because you can.
But you don't have to if you have Spotify Premium. So now I came up with I didn't even come up with an idea because the iTunes store still does it. But I said, yo, we need to make these albums. You know what? Because I have a whole nother question.
All right. So we're going. We're disagreeing on this one.
Huh? I agree. I agree with you. I can't not agree with you because you make valid points. It's those pillars of hip hop. The culture can't die.
Look,
the culture can't die unless we keep killing each other. The culture can't die.
Look, Cap and Son's got an album coming out soon, so that's why I'm wearing my Cappy Land Records shirt, man. I'm representing. My Vegas still putting out. My man Vegas still putting out music, man. Like it's not going nowhere. But we'll move on. What you had a question you wanted to ask?
And this is, do you miss supervised music?
What do you mean?
Because like you said, these guys anybody can come out of nowhere and put up music whenever they want, however they want, wherever they want. Do you miss the days of supervised music?
What, like
where
an A&R?
Where a label and a distribution company approved of what you did and then distributed to the masses?
Oh. So I think the era of the A&R is definitely over. The artist and repertoire was a vital component of that. The street team was a vital component of all that. So those two things in the lexicon of hip hop are definitely gone. Like you don't really, again, because of the internet, the rise of social media and all that, you're your own street team. You're your own A&R. Now, I don't agree that that's a great thing. I think that a lot of these artists do need that guiding hand. I think they do. Because you wouldn't put out trash if somebody up above you was like, "No, we're not pushing this record. We're going to push this one." So I think that the artists and repertoire, the labels, all that, I think it's the gift and the curse. You know what I mean? I think that they were good to have and they were necessary. But I also think that this generation and the ability to just kind of give you music is not the worst thing. But I do believe that these artists could use with the guiding light, so to speak, in how to put out what music they're putting out. And I think that, yeah, I think that generally speaking, those positions of A&Rs and street teams and record execs certainly they should still play a part. But I don't think hip hop is at its best when it's overly corporatized. I think that there has to be some melding where both sides work together, not we're telling you what to put out because this is what we want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that there needs to be some form of cohesion within that apparatus of record label and artists that allows for the best possible music to be put to the forefront.
Cause see, I'm saying that because it's like you said, you don't want it to be too corporatized, but I feel like the music now is 100% corporatized.
In a way, yeah.
Because they're the ones that's paying these guys to make this music. You can't discredit the business aspect of hip hop because that is how we ultimately ended up consuming it in a mass. I mean, you could go outside of your house and hear somebody playing music. That was one way of finding out what's going on, what's hot out right now, what are we listening to?
Yeah.
Out of somebody's car, somebody playing it out their window. But mostly it was off of the radio, like, you know what I'm saying? It turn on your radio. What's bumping on the radio? That aspect of hip hop is it can't be discredited.
No.
As a tool to what expanded and got hip hop to where it became global. Instead of a neighborhood thing, it became a worldwide phenomenon. And I don't think you can discredit it. Now, when you have somebody advising or spearheading or overseeing what artists are putting out, you get a more personable vibe. Like it wasn't just the artist with the distributor. It was somebody that cared about the artist and cultivated them, and you know what I'm saying, made sure that they stuck to their shit. Like Outkast, they didn't get to just put out whatever they wanted. Rico Wade and Ray was like, "Yo, write it over. I need write. That's not a verse. Write something better." Yeah. Diddy would make you Puff Daddy would make you write your verses over and over and over and over and over again, just to make sure that what you're putting out is great. Now you got these dudes just doing it for the money, and these corporations and these advertisers and these marketings are paying these artists just to make something. Yeah. I don't care what you make, just make something, put your name on it, and I guarantee you will make some money.
Yeah, and that's a problem. I definitely see that as an issue. Like the legend of Dr. Dre making you re-say a line 50 times until he hears perfectly is, you know what I mean, that's known and in everything. And again, but I also
mumble rap.
but that's the thing, and this is what I'm saying. Like an MC always made sure that their verse was tight, their song was tight, because an MC cared about the quality of what they were saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, so an MC
they're speaking their stories, man.
Right. So they had to. They were more okay with being guided in that way. Like, nah, you should do it like this, or you should say it like this. A lot of artists now, especially because they're kids, we all know how recalcitrant kids are.
No, they were kids coming up too.
They were, but look at the difference in era, and I think that's a major factor in what we're talking about. These kids nowadays don't give a shit about anything. Whereas when we was coming up and the ones before us was coming up, they had a message. Think about it. Slick Rick, Children's Story. Such a dope record. You know what I'm saying? But the ultimate thesis of the record was stay on the right path or this could be you. You know what I'm saying? It's Dark and Hell is Hot was a cautionary tale of what could happen to you if you always follow that dark path. So, you know what I mean? uh uh it Nas, Illmatic,
I
same thing. Like Jay-Z,
I remember hearing, huh?
Reasonable Doubt to Hard Knock Life to The Blueprint to, like, all these artists cared about the message that they were sending out, and it translated into dope music.
I mean, they cared about the product they were putting out. It was like it's on some
Exactly.
American gangster shit. Like you can't don't water down my stuff, son.
Right.
Boom,
Nowadays, it's
you
watered
start
down.
putting,
It's
yeah.
trash. It's trash.
Like, hold up, so like Kodak Black said he don't want to work with Master P. He don't want Master P's tutelage. Like he's like, John, you just trying to make money off of me. When you have this dude is has proven proven time and time again that he knows what to do. He knows how to make an artist, make money. He was the independent back then, you know what I'm saying? But he still, you know what I'm saying, knew how to cultivate an artist. He turned Snoop Dogg from just a rapper to
a global icon.
An icon.
And I'm not gonna say it was all Master P.
So now he's probably like the same age as like Mace or something. Like these dudes that we watched coming up. Wu-Tang wasn't old. They weren't old. This was kids. These were kids, but they, you know what I'm saying? The RZA, he already went into the industry, came out, and was like, all right, I can do this. But you know what I'm saying? He figured out, he saw how it was supposed to be done, and then cultivated these guys into making something special.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These dudes just be like, yo, I'm little Yachty was like, man, I'm just trying to feed my family. And Flex is trying to explain to him, like, yo, it's not that. Like, it's way more than that. You can't just come up in here saying bullshit.
Right. You can't.
Y'all gotta carry us into the next joke. Like after Kendrick and Drake, J. Cole, Big Sean, it was it. It was over.
I don't count Drake in that.
Nah, you do not. You got to.
I don't. I don't. I don't think. I think.
I know he doesn't write everything, but you can't tell me he doesn't write rhymes, though.
I don't care what he does. I can't sit here and say, yo, Drake is one of the best ever.
I mean, yeah, he's no Tech Nine or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Drake isn't freaking Mace, okay? And I genuinely did not like Mace. Got love for him, mad love for you, mad love, Mace, mad love, no disrespect. But I was never the hugest Mace.
That was our album. Harlem World was our album. Me and Mace were a group.
But I don't count.
Had the first verse, he had the second verse.
I don't count Drake as an MC. I think Drake is a good rapper.
But these are the pioneers of the generation. Were they the dopest? No, but these were the figureheads. These are the role models.
I'll give you that.
The role models for the generation.
Right, but if you're gonna
when you start looking at how you start looking at Chief Keef.
Drill music is something else entirely.
He's just making shit out of his basement, dog.
Yeah, but so was everybody. What the RZA doing the same thing?
How are we taking him seriously as he's like that? I'm not. He's like, nah, I'm not making hip hop music no more. You never made hip hop music.
I mean,
why is Tekashi 6 not allowed to rap?
Why
is you hear Ice Spice? Do you hear her?
No.
You should try.
No.
She made the top 50 list of New York rappers. I couldn't believe it. But this is what I'm saying. Like,
if you can't tell, there's a sour taste in my mouth from that.
You said that we don't want to get it too corporatized. It's all corporatized now. It's completely corporatized.
Unfortunately,
I had an idea because I missed the era of, like, you know what I'm saying? when a motherfucker's album was about to drop next week, you know what I'm saying? The anticipation of getting ready to hear somebody's music. I miss that shit. I miss
Yeah.
the exclusivity of the music. So I said, yo, don't put your album on Spotify. Don't put it on streaming services, at least for a month, month and a half, 2 months, 3 months, or whatever. Just leave it in the iTunes store. I was like, yo, I wanted to make a place where you can put music on that won't get ripped off. Like you put it in like a unrippable file or something like that, where you can't just rip it off, put it online.
No, you gotta buy it. You should have to buy it.
Yeah, it should be in a. Bring cassettes back.
Your dog, I can't lie. I'm about to get a. I'm about to get a. I think I'm about to get my hands on a '98 Oldsmobile that definitely has a tape deck. And you best believe I'm gonna find me some cassettes, dag nabbit. I'm gonna find me some because I miss that.
My mother still got all our cassettes, bro. All of them. All our cassettes, all our CDs. I don't know why, but part of me is like, you know what, Ma? I think you're onto something.
I'm telling you,
real. For real. Because when you listen to a cassette, you can't skip. You gotta listen to that whole side.
You can fast forward
the whole side.
And if your radio is messed up and you hit fast forward, it might eat the tape. So you can't do that.
For real. For real. Your whole joint gotta be crazy. I've been so hard. I told you, I was so hard on Nas. Only because when I bought his albums, I wasn't like it was written was cool. It didn't satisfy me. It didn't satisfy me as a consumer.
I feel
Nostradamus did not satisfy me as a consumer.
No.
Stillmatic was dope. Godson was dope.
Hip hop is dead.
2 more albums after that.
Hip hop is dead.
Dude, I can't trust this dude. I was like, I can't trust this dude. But if you look at it now, like, yeah, I can make a Nas. I can make a crazy Nas playlist. Crazy Nas playlist.
But now,
I can just peace songs here, peace song there, peace song there. I can make a crazy ass Nas playlist.
I feel this
as hard on Nas, and I get that. You know what I'm saying? Illmatic was just so
a classic.
It was so
just a classic, just perfectly executed.
He will live on forever.
Yes, and I feel the same way about the Locks, because as far as I'm concerned, when I think of the Locks, I completely disavow Money, Power, and Respect. I do. I completely disavow that record, and it got some dope joints on it. I'm not saying that, but for me, the Locks started with "We Are the Streets," and that to me is a quintessential Locks album. And even up to Filthy America, or you know what I'm saying, like they knew his joints. Like I said, Styles P and Havoc put out a joint record. Friday on Elm Street.
It was okay.
It was dope. I loved it. Friday on Elm Street, Jada and Fab was dope. Sheik Luch, Walk With Me, and all that, like Silverback Gorillas.
He's still my favorite. Because of Money, Power, Respect, Sheik will always be my favorite.
He's my favorite because he
was supposed to be a commercial success, dog.
You know what?
He should have stayed that bad boy, and Puffy could have made a star out.
Nah, he's still a star. Sheik Luch is still a star, and Sheik Luch to me is still my favorite MC of the Locks.
Baby.
And I'm not taking anything away from Jada or Styles, because like they said, how you have a three-man group where all of us is the strongest. You know what I'm saying? There's not one whack dude in that crew. Period, point blank. But think about Onyx. Everybody knows Onyx, but when you think of Onyx, the first person you think of is Sticky Fingers.
Sticky Fingers.
You know what I'm saying? Taking nothing away from Fredro or Sun C, but when people think of Onyx, they think of Sticky Fingers. When people think of Outkast, they think of Andre 3000. You know what I'm saying? So, which leads me into my next query. is the era of the hip hop group gone? You know what I'm saying? Is there room for crews anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like the Terror Squad. Like they just, who won that whole I think it came down to Wu-Tang versus Death Row, and somehow Death Row won. And to me, as much as I West Coasted hard, but I would never in my thought process think to make or say that Death Row was a crew like that. They weren't better than Rough Riders. They weren't better than the Wu-Tang Clan. The freaking Wu-Tang Clan, dagnabbit.
You bite your tongue, sir.
I will do no such thing.
Because you're talking about the dog pound. And when you're talking about the dog pound, you're talking about Corrupt. Corrupt is one of the dopest dudes ever.
Agreed.
Agreed. You got Nate Dogg. You got Warren G. That's just the dog pound.
Right. But the dog pound, no, because the dog pound was only Daz and Corrupt. Snoop
that's the group. That's the group.
But that's what I'm saying.
Dog pound as a crew. Dog pound as a crew.
Then you put the dog pound. You don't say Death Row. Because Death Row was, yes, they were, but they were owned. But everybody on Death Row was a single artist, was a solo artist. Yes,
that's like a Dog Pound album.
I listen to the Chronic damn near every day. I listen to the Chronic. Listen, I listen to the Chronic damn near every day. That's why he can't make
music like that. He can't make. Dr. Dre can't just throw albums together because he needs the Dog Pound.
No, Dr. Dre can't make albums like that because Dr. Dre is a perfectionist, not recognizing that perfection is a myth. And I'm still waiting for Detox, man.
His career died with him.
Nah, Dr. Dre is still so relevant to the artistry of hip hop and to the game of hip hop that without Dr. Dre, you get no Kendrick, you get no Game, you get no Snoop, you get no, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but this is what I'm saying. Is when
but that's not a crew. I'm talking about a crew like the Rough Riders, Wu-Tang Clan, Outkast, Terror Squad.
Rough Riders is a label.
Rough Riders is a label, but they was a crew because you put out Rough Riders Volume 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4. That's a crew.
You don't have a Death Row because you don't have a Death Row compilation album?
That's right. You ain't got no Death Row compilation album. The Chronic was the Death Row compilation.
All Eyes on Me. Tupac's All Eyes on Me. It's a Dog Pound album.
I mean, in a manner of speaking.
It's a bunch of recycled Snoop records.
No, it's not. It's a bunch of recycled Daz and Corrupt records.
Tupac.
Yes, and that's fair.
These guys as a crew or as a team were monsters.
Listen. You're not going to get me to disagree with that. I love Death Row Records. Almost everything Death Row put out, I was a fan of. All Eyes on Me is in my top 3 favorite albums list. Period. I'm not going to tell y'all which one it is, but it's definitely in the top 3.
That's for another day.
That's for another day. But All Eyes on Me is still one of my favorite records of all time, although not my favorite Tupac album. That happens to be Me Against the World. That just happens to be Me Against the World. But the era of, like, the time of a hip-hop crew, Murder Inc.
Are You Still Down? Was it
G-Unit? Yeah, that was, Murder Inc., G-Unit. Which is going to be another question for another time, for later on. But
I have a great question after this one.
All right. So, but I firmly believe that the crews in hip hop definitely mattered, and I think that I don't think they're over.
Then it's not going to happen anymore because you got too many people wanting to be the man. It's not like you're gonna get a bunch of dudes like trying to come up. Like, I think one crew that I thought was gonna be and could have been crazy, and I know you're not crazy about the South like that, but Gucci was building a nice little team together, but they couldn't I'm not trying to say that they were lyrically
No,
crazy,
I'm just trying to
nothing
say
like that.
my
But
my
they
eyebrow
were
raised because who was
him and
on there?
OJ. They was trying to get Nicki Minaj in there, and then Waka. They could have. I mean, they were coming together, and then it was like, nah, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and then they just went their separate ways. You're not gonna get a bunch of dudes to come together for one common goal to try to take over this joint. It's just one dude doing this thing. Like I think Young Thug was trying to do it, and look what happened to them.
The ASAP mob is probably the last bastion of that
Yeah,
style. But again, think about what we grew up on, and this might be why we're jaded. We had Rough Riders, we had the Wu Tang, we had the Dungeon Family, we had Terror Squad, we had Flip Mode Squad, we had G Unit, we had Murder Inc., we had, you know what I'm saying? Like we had Dipset.
You wasn't even coming out. You had that home world. They was like everybody was prepared. It was like, yo, I'm in. When I'm in, all y'all come behind me. Junior Mafia.
Right. Junior Mafia.
That's how it always went. When somebody breaks, who's coming behind me?
That's right.
Now it's like somebody breaks. Let me get some points on your album. I don't want to work. That's why G Unit died. I was just talking to my man about that. G Unit died because these dudes didn't want to work. They wanted to live off of 50.
Well,
he was like, I can't do it no more.
I'm gonna be honest with you. G Unit is a little sour taste for me in some regards, mainly because out of all of G Unit, Chris was my favorite because he was just the most lyrical beast of them all. You know what I mean?
But he was the laziest.
Yes, he was. And
no offense, bro. You know I love you, bro.
You know we love you, brother. But we speaking fact. But yeah, no, listen, the Hunger for More too. And I think he just put out a couple joints, and that's kind of it. You know what I mean?
If he'd have just put it, if he would have looked at the dude, if you'd have looked at your leader and tried to work as hard as the leader, it could have been
so much
more
better.
than what it was. Little Kim wasn't sitting on what Biggie was doing. Little Kim was Little Kim had her own energy and was trying to be just as fucking big as him.
And she was. To me, she was. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, Lil' Kim was as lyrically nice as Biggie. But
she had crazy energy.
She had
crazy momentum.
Crazy momentum. She had all the tools to be a success, and you believed her. And that's you know what I'm saying? But again, look,
you never been. You shouldn't respect her. She didn't have been like that.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, Capone, CNN. You know, so even the duos, CNN. You know what I mean? Mobb Deep. Like, come on. These were
Rich Gang didn't fucking work out because dudes want to be in the forefront.
I don't know who that is.
So it's just not gonna happen.
I don't know who that is.
It was Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan. And Birdman was trying to create a crew. He was trying to create a crew around those two and make them two a group that a whole bunch of people could come in on. But
you got
both of them were trying to be the man. Both of them were trying to be the man.
You got TDE.
And they didn't take what Birdman gave them seriously.
No. But to be fair, you have TDE. You see, like, there are still crews technically, but
it's like two left.
There's two left, really. Yeah, there's only like two left. There's no,
and that's not even a crew. QC is not a crew. Like, there was Migos, and it's just a group of artists together that these guys are in charge of. Lil Baby is not in a crew with Migos. Lil Yachty Migos don't want to be affiliated with Lil Yachty.
Well, unfortunately,
they just all under the same label. Cardi B is just was like what Tupac was to Death Row. We brought in a superstar.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to compare. My bad. Not trying to compare.
Well, listen, listen. Let me say something, and I mean this wholeheartedly. I love Cardi B. I got massive amounts of respect and love for Cardi B. I do. I do. I think I literally have sat there and listened to her discography, and I don't know. I don't know if she wrote everything herself or not. I don't know. But I will say that I didn't hear anything that makes me be like, oh no, she's whack. I appreciate Cardi B as much as I appreciate Nicki Minaj. And Nicki Minaj is not, she doesn't always make music specifically for, that I like, but I respect her pen. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be that honest. I respect Remy Martin's pen more. You know what I'm saying? I just do.
I mean, she didn't back down from her though. You know what I'm saying? Like
Remy Martin, one of the only artists I know that will
she
pop
thought she was
you.
she thought she was gonna walk in. She thought she was gonna walk in and bully Nicki, and Nicki was like, "Nah, chill, not having."
And
I respect it.
But I also love Rod Digger so much, and Miss Lauren Hill.
The best female to touch the mic.
Rod Digger.
Yes, you better
I'm not going to disagree with that.
Best to ever touch the mic.
I will not disagree with that. But I also know of a Jean Grey and Bahamadia. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, listen, we're gonna move on. I Cruiser gone. I missed him. I missed him. With Cruiser gone, bro.
Yeah.
TDE
is the last bastion.
Was probably the last acceptable rap group.
Listen, Young Money wasn't the worst thing. It's just that Drake
TDE
was a
came
part
after
of that. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, Young Money kind of counts. But yeah, TDE and I'm not talking about just a trio of cats. I mean like a crew, a force that rolled through, like the Flip Mode Squad and the Wu-Tang Clan and the Fugees and
like I'm on your album, you on my album. I got like 3 tracks on your album. I got like 4. You got 4 tracks on my album. You know what I'm saying? We don't need outsiders. Cash Money didn't need no outsiders.
No,
we got the beats. We got four lyricists. Let's try it.
And again, ASAP Mob is still around. You know what I'm saying? Like, But we will move on to the next query. What you got?
All right, so I got one last one.
Please don't get me canceled.
No, listen. What I'm trying. No, I'm not gonna get you canceled. In the love of hip hop, I'm not gonna cancel. Who was the best rapper / CEO?
Well,
it's not an easy thing to do. It's not a lot of rappers like they started a label, they kind of stopped to push somebody. Who kept going and did they think?
I mean, in all honesty and fairness, the first 2 names that jumped into my head are Jay-Z and Dr. Dre. Those are literally the first 2 names that just those are the first 2 that sprouted in my mind.
I'm disagreeing with that.
I mean, like I said, those are the first 2 that just popped in my mind, but I'm sitting here trying to think of.
Only reason I can say that is because I think that Jay-Z was the rapper and Dame Dash was the exec.
Yeah, but once Dame Dash
I feel like Dame was responsible or had a lot of input in what Rockefeller Music put out, and he used Jay-Z as a forefront. Dr. Dre is a producer, not a rapper.
But he was the CEO. Well, he was a rapper, but he don't write his own shit. He
failed a lot. He only popped off with Eminem, really.
No, because you have the Game.
That was Aftermath.
No,
That was 50.
no. Game was signed to
G-Unit,
Aftermath
it was
and then
G-Unit
put
after
on G Unit to get him out. But Aftermath was where the Game got his start. And, you know, I think Flip Mode could have been bigger. Shout out to Busta Rhymes. I think
he dropped the ball on that one, bro.
he dropped the ball a little bit on that one. You know what I'm saying?
The ball on that one. After Flip Mode, then he had Pat Puss on the squad.
He had Pat. I mean, but again, Busta Rhymes briefly was signed to Aftermath along with Eve, and you know what I'm saying. So
and Rakim,
and Truth Hurts, and Nocturnal, and
you really like? Did you really overlook Master P like that?
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, but Master P was a horrible rapper. Master P was a horrible rapper.
You bite your tongue, sir.
I will not. Master P, and all flowers to you, sir. All props to you. All praises due. But Master P was not the best rapper. However, Make Him Say, it's still one of my favorite records of all time. So,
yeah, I mean,
there's something to that.
He had a good album. A lot of the artists that he put out, they didn't really put out great records like that.
No, the best one he had, unfortunately, is kind of
they just came with it.
The best one that he had, unfortunately, could not maintain his trajectory because, unfortunately, he keeps getting sexual assault charges, and that's Mystical. Mystical was dope. Mind of Mystical.
James Brown of rap.
Yeah, Mind of Mystical, his first record. I remember, I forgot who gave that to me. I remember I was living in Rochdale at the time, and I think I was just rolling around. I was just roaming one day after school, just walking around, trying not to go home because I didn't want to get beat up. And I bumped into this cat, and he took me to the crib, and we sat there. He was like, "Yo, you ever heard this?" And he put on this Mystical joint, and it was so just something I had never heard before. And then he was like, "Yo, you like that? Yo, here, take the tape." And blessed me with the Mind of Mystical tape. And I must have bumped that forever. You know what I mean? Until the tape popped. I literally ran that until the tape popped. And it was just so awe-inspiring to me. The voice, the force, everything about it was just different. And when he signed to, I was about to say Murder Inc. When he signed to
what you signed to? Cash Money?
Not Cash Money. No Limit. There you go. When he signed to No Limit, I could not figure that. I could not get that for the life of me just now. When he signed to No Limit, I was so excited. And when I heard him on the records and everything, I was just like, yeah, Mystical. And then Shake Your Ass. Watch yourself. Shake your ass. Show me what you're working with. Nowadays, that record could not get made. But back then,
yeah, it could. Yeah, it could.
No, he'd have been canceled. The first time he said "shake your ass,"
shaking their fucking ass. That shit ain't never gonna fucking stop.
That record still gets played today in some places, but
and people still don't know. They don't know what to do with that.
But it was such a transcendent record. And unfortunately, he keeps getting caught up in sexual assault charges. You know what I mean? And it's a sad thing, but yeah, I guess in the grand scheme of things, I guess Master P could be it, except the reason I would say Jay-Z is because he is the president CEO of Rock Nation, and he's still putting that company. He's still putting out records.
It's not a record label, man.
I mean, yes, it is. He's still got Rockefeller. He's
management. No, he manages these people. He is not in charge. He does not make albums.
And the reason
not make albums, doesn't find producers.
And I'll say this: the reason why, and the only reason I'll disqualify Jay-Z is because what artist has Jay-Z put out that actually is still relevant and successful today? Like, people love Beanie Siegel, and there is a certain amount of people that love Memphis Bleak, but neither one of them is anywhere today. You know what I'm saying? Not taking anything away from either of them as artists. I'm just saying, where are they now? You know what I'm saying? Bleak
Well,
had moments.
Siegel said he's gonna. Siegel, he said he's gonna use. He's gonna use AI to get his voice back and start
Okay,
rapping.
okay, sure.
Which I'm all for. I'm all for because it's not like he's you taking advantage of technology. He's using it to utilize something that he lost.
Then the
He lost his
DOC
voice.
should be able to do the same thing.
He probably could.
You know what I mean? And he should.
Probably could.
He should.
Because he's not that. This is no. Nobody wants. I'm not trying to hear no DOC record right now.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know what? We can put Eminem there because not for nothing, but D12 albums, I love them both. I liked Obi Trice. I loved Slaughterhouse. I'm mad they can't keep it together. And as much as Joe Budden infuriates me at times, there's no denying how dope he is. There's no denying how dope Royce the 5'9", Crooked Eye, or Joel Ortiz is. Slaughterhouse was a phenomenal collective under Shady Records. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent, technically, it was under Shady Records. That just happens to be the best example of what Eminem was able to do.
I was thinking it was between 50 and Cam to me.
Killer Cam, shouts to Killer Cam and Mace for their sports podcast. It's dope. Killer Cam and Dipset, I think, should have been bigger than they were. And I think that
I think they maxed out, bro.
I think they maxed out. Right. That's the point. I think they maxed out.
Yeah, you got Jim. Jewels was supposed to do a whole lot more. He's in that same breath with that I have with Banks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas they didn't do as much as they could or should have done.
No. And J.R. Ryder and Hell-Rel. Yeah, those two were beasts. Beasts.
Yeah, beasts. Then they were supposed to have, and I was talking to my mans about this because it became where Jim started to step away from the group because he had beasts of his own because he had Stack Bundles. Wow. And he had Max B and Mel Murder. And if he had just incorporated them into the team, instead of trying to take them and do his own thing, because he felt, I think We Fly High, it was a drug that he then became like, nah, I need to be a superstar. Whereas he could have stepped back and said, yo, I got Max B for like 7 albums. don't get out the streets. Stay your ass in the studio and pump out this music. Stack Bundles, get out of Far Rockaway, get in the studio, pump this music. So you would have had J.R. Ryder, Hell-Rel, Stack Bundles, Max B, all like under the next generation on top of what they were already doing. So they didn't really max out. But then you got G Unit.
That's 50. A hell of a collective, though. Just think about them artists you just named: Stack Bundles, J.R. Ryder, Hell-Rel, Max B. That makes your face go, ugh. Like, whoa, ugh.
Oh God. You need to call all of them on one fucking record. Ugh. Jeez, and then you had Duke the God putting out the Dipset compilations. It was good. It was good. It was good.
And then, of course, you had things like DJ Green.
But Cam was still Cam. Yeah. Just like 50 was still 50.
Yeah.
And he had Banks. Buck album was crazy. Game album, you love so much.
I love the Game, and I don't care that he.
Yayo album wasn't bad either.
Yayo's album wasn't bad neither. Shout out to Tony Yayo and Lloyd Banks and 50 and all of G Unit because
they the home team.
They the home team. You know what I'm saying? But no, I think I can agree that, you know, of the rapper slash CEOs, Master P probably was the most successfully prolific. But I will offer the caveat that Eminem probably has he's got
the best CEO rapper.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not arguing with you because you kind of crushed it with the slaughterhouse shit. You can't deny what kind of fucking. I mean, they didn't blow.
They should have blown so much bigger. But I think that ultimately, I think, and again, this comes down
culture
to
the business had changed, the culture changed. If you'd have had Slaughterhouse coming out like, yo, if you'd have had an anticipation for their shit, people would have bought it. But it was so they came out in the mixtape era, so it was like, yo, we just dropping, and it's like if the way they did it was like individually teasing us, and then they came out with their project, and it was just like it was almost too much.
It was So you know,
I you know what? If you're gonna say Eminem, I'm not gonna argue.
I will say Eminem only, and now, which leads me into my final question, and it's kind of a doozy, and I definitely got a lot of hits on the reel that I put up with this one. But is there any universe that Melly Mel could beat Eminem in a battle?
If it was 1985, when was Eminem born?
He's older than me. He's pushing 50, so
he was like, all right. So when Melly Mel was in his prime, and Eminem was what, 9? It was probably like 6, 7.
Let's just say
Melly Mel would have torched Eminem.
Let's just say they're both in their prime. Let's just say they're both in their prime. Who wins that battle?
Eminem. Listen. So this is the biggest. Everybody has an issue with Eminem because of what he talks about.
Because he's white. That's all it is.
This is the biggest misconception. I don't like it. It gets on my nerves. It bothers me to the core because everybody's so worried about what he's talking about, as opposed to the delivery in which he tells his story. The only person I heard respectfully give Eminem his proper due was Rakim, and Rakim said it perfectly the way it's supposed to be. He's like, yo, yeah, Eminem is not spitting street shit, but he's telling his story.
That's right.
The way that and the way he flows and the way that he writes his rhymes, it's perfection.
Yeah,
son. By the time he got to the Relapse album, it was like, yo, y'all.
and that wasn't even his best album to me.
Delivering bars, same old song. My favorite Eminem song is My Mom, because he just destroyed that shit. He destroyed that record, even though the Encore had crazy bars on it, but Melly Mel has. Why?
Listen, I'm gonna
say. Is he trying to come back? Is he trying to come back?
I don't know. I'm gonna say
dropping an album or something.
I'm gonna say
he's just doing this just to do it. Is it internet clout? This is what I'm talking about. I'm gonna say people are going to somebody's going to actually fund Melly Mel's attempt to assassinate Eminem just for clicks.
I'm gonna say this about Eminem. All right. I've been a fan of Eminem since I first heard, hi, my name is what? My name is who?
Great album. That was a
Listen,
great album.
I will say that Eminem, I don't care if that boy was freaking clear, yellow, purple, or green. That motherfucker cares about hip hop. He cares about the artistry and the skill of hip hop. He cares about the art form of hip hop in a way that I don't even think our other artists actually do. I think Eminem, come on, listen, Eminem's favorite rapper is my favorite. Eminem's favorite MC is my favorite MC, and that's freaking Reggie Noble, Redman. Like, come on, I can't not love that guy.
Well, I thought Tretch was his favorite rapper.
No, he says Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie, Andre from Outkast, Jada Corrupt, Nas, and then me.
Tretch, see, I don't think you. I don't.
And he loves.
I know the bar. I know the bar.
And he loves Tretch.
You're not going to leave Tretch out.
No, you're not going to leave Tretch out, and I will never leave Tretch out because Tretch is one of the dopest ever.
He respectfully make sure that Tretch gets the proper respect that he deserves.
Look, Tretch
and I
said,
believe it was Tretch that he likes the most. I know he respects Reggie, or Reggie's definitely in his list.
Tretch said he would only put out a solo album if Eminem executive produced it. That's what he said. And you know what? I would be here for it.
Listen, the dude, he's not just a pop phenomenon. He came from the battlegrounds and then did the underground, then became a rap star.
Yeah. He did it the way one should.
I don't even say that shit no more. He's not a white rapper.
No, he's an MC.
He's a rapper. He's an MC.
Period.
That's it. There's plenty of white dudes that can rap. If you white and you want to rap, knock yourself out. My favorite, whatchamacallit, that's the show Atlanta. They was like, yo, if you really, really, really want to blow, get you a young white avatar. Meaning, if you a black rapper, get you a white boy.
Write all his bars.
And give him your rhymes and watch him blow. And you're going to be at the Grammys.
I'm going to tell you right now.
And it's like, yo, let him.
You said a name. Hold on. You said a name earlier that I just completely disavow in the lexicon of hip hop, and that's Tekashi 6ix9ine. He gets no mention in hip hop. That is a pop artist. I don't care what he ain't nothing. Tekashi 6ix9ine is nothing. Nothing. And I'm going to add this honorable mention.
He's the product of what's wrong now.
I agree, but I will say this:
you don't have to rhyme.
I'll ask this last question real quick, and this is where we can end this episode. And I'll ask this: give me one artist that you think should have been larger that didn't get the shine that they should have, but they are a dope artist.
Papoose. Papoose should be on everybody's top 5 lyricist list. He should have been. I mean, I thought he did make actual dope records.
I do.
You know what I'm saying? I thought he made some really good records. My wife is not a hip hop head at all. She's you know what I'm saying? She's all about singing and gospel and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. She respects Papoose. She sat there and listened to was it it was like American backwards.
Oh, listen, I watched that man. I listened to that man rap the alphabet.
Listen to that album together.
I sat there and listened to that man rap the alphabet. I got love for Papoose. But I'm gonna go with
that shit is crazy. Even though Busta Rhymes started that.
I'm gonna say Saigon. I'm gonna say Saigon. Saigon to God. Yes, I'm gonna say Saigon. Saigon is one of the dopest MCs that didn't get enough shine the way he should have. And maybe it's because he kept going to jail and shit. So there's that. But Saigon.
I hate how I hate how he tried to be a rap star. He tried.
Listen, Pain in My Life is still, you can listen to that now and it still holds water. You know what I'm saying? It still holds weight. But he put out a joint a couple years ago, Pain, Peace, and Prosperity, with and DJ K Slay, I guess, was the executive producer. Rest in peace to K Slay. But that whole record, and he got a joint on there called The Co-op, and it's got my man Cassidy on it. And that's another one I can say too. Cassidy should have definitely been bigger, but
no, Cannabis should have been bigger.
Cannabis definitely should have been bigger. And had he not made the biggest mistake of his life by going against LL.
Yo, his first two albums, like they got so much burn. They got so much burn for me. I don't care. Niconometry, that was my shit. Second Round Knockout was my shit. Like Wyclef, they tried to fight. They tried to fuck my man, but I love his albums. That track he made on the first track on his second album was fucking so hard.
Yo, have you ever heard Sticky Fingers solo album, The Diary of Kurt Jones?
Yeah.
You know, like the courtroom joint where Rod Digger is the judge, and I think Cannabis is the prosecutor, and Redman is the defense.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
wow, I forgot about that.
Classics, man. Listen, I love hip hop.
About Razzcast.
Yo, I just listened to Razzcast. He was on My Expert Opinion. Dope. I love Razzcast. He was on the Def Jam. Like, come on, you know, there's not many whack motherfuckers that signed the Def Jam.
He was just in the wrong situation.
He was just in the wrong situation.
I don't think he's in the right situation.
I'm also a fan
they don't know what to do with West Coast rap.
No, so I loved MC8.
That boy was a beast.
Listen, I love
MC8.
I love Mike Geronimo.
Not underrated. I think MC8 got all the love and respect he deserves.
I love Mike Geronimo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love hip hop in a way that I can't fathom not loving it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will go to bat for hip hop to anybody. And
I think Pimp C got enough love.
I don't think Pimp C got enough love. And you know what? Of a lot of artists that we lost, the Pop Big, Big L, Big Pun, a lot of bigs there. You know.
Yeah, that was a good era.
That
the
was
bigs in front of their names. They dudes start going little.
Yeah, now everybody went little. But the bigs, man, listen, I ain't gonna lie. To this day, I wish Pac and Big were still alive and around. And I would have loved to have seen them grow and get beyond the beef and go beyond, you know, what they were doing then. I would have loved to see Biggie go beyond Bad Boy. I would have loved to have seen Tupac go beyond Death Row. Because in all honesty and fairness, I think if they were all around, Big, Pac, and Snoop would be the biggest beings in creation. Because Snoop Dogg is like I said, we said before, he's an icon, but he's more than that. Snoop Dogg is
an institution. Is a human being. He's like one of those great human beings. He's like a great man.
Yeah.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's just one of them great men.
Listen,
he's just on like Snoop Dogg. Like Snoop Dogg's been on like a 30-year high right now. He's on like a 30.
Snoop Dogg for president, baby. Snoop Dogg for president. Snoop Dogg for president. Word up. I vote for Snoop.
Snoop is he ain't got time for that.
I know that. He's too busy smoking with Martha Stewart. But I'm just saying.
I'm saying you're right. I mean, you're not wrong, because it's like he got so much love that
everybody loves Snoop. I don't care if you're the leftist liberal or the rightist MAGA moron. Everybody loves Snoop. Period. Everybody loves Snoop.
How do you not love Snoop?
How do you not love Snoop? And we can end it right there, man. Yo, so we agreed on more than we disagreed today, and that's fair.
We did it. We did. We did. We did. You put a lot of sense on me.
Listen,
I appreciate it. This is why we have these things.
This is why we do this right here. So, you know, man, for my brother Sean Wallace, I am, of course, your boy Frank Starfire. If you liked what you heard, if you want to chime in, please do so in the comment section below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more fun content like this. But please don't be afraid to get in on the conversation. We want to hear from you. We'd like to know whether you agree, disagree, or agree to disagree, man. But either way, appreciate you.
Yeah, I want to do like a rebate show based on something like, yo, we saw a question that was so crazy, we had to jump back in real quick.
I'm just saying, like, yo, I want the comments.
Find me on IG.
And you know, follow him at Mr. Soul 3000.
We can definitely do that. We could definitely do
that. You know what? YouTube has this new thing where they put out podcasts. So I'm guessing we could probably go live on YouTube. I want to try that one day. We should try that. Just go live on YouTube and see what we can drum up. And maybe what we'll do is maybe what we'll do is, you know what? We'll stop this now. We'll talk real quick after this. So for the homie Sean Wallace, I'm of course your boy Frank Starfire. Thank you for tuning in to Agree to Disagree. Be on the lookout for more great content. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, all that good stuff. And we'll see you next time, baby. One love.
Peace.
Peace.